Good evening, Super League fans and managers, and welcome to the semi-final on this glorious Sunday evening. First of all, we've got the minor semi-final, and we have, of course, also got the major semi-final. First up, it's Valen United against Panathinaikos. Valen United, relatively easy their journey to the semi-final, apart from the very last game where it nearly went wrong against Astor Athletic. Obviously, they've been comfortably in the playoff spot throughout the season. Won the first game relatively comfortably, and then it was just right here at the end that it got a little bit tricky. Panathinaikos was a very different journey. They've been up and down, very last minute, kind of scraping through to the actual playoffs, but did a good job to obviously overcome Ardsley in that game. Yeah, very interesting to see how they both those two sides get on tonight. And then obviously we've got the major semi-final after this, which is Bolton Phoenix against Churchtown. Massive. Churchtown lost at home 2-1 on Wednesday, obviously, so it'll be interesting to see if they can find a way back into this, or if we could potentially have a obviously a repeat of last year's final with both Valen and Bolton still in there. Both teams obviously have to do a decent job. Valen United, especially, no just second chances for them, and they're going to have to do their best to get there. So let's see. First of all, we've got let's have a look at the Valen's lineup here. They've got Lassisi and Bramble at the back. Lisa Rasu, Keen, Kafu in defensive midfield. We've got Fiora and Nakata. Nakata comes in for Jeremies. Totti's in there. Saha is in on the right hand side. Saha's in for Saviola, who's on the bench with a wrist injury. Apart from that, it's as you were for Valen United. Obviously, Lisa Rasu still the captain, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can overcome a Panathinaikos side who's scored some goals recently, and yeah, it's just a question of whether they can keep it tight at the back. That's been a problem for them, despite having such a good defensive record in the league. Obviously, against Ardsley it was a bit of an issue, and that could pose a problem for them against Valen. Let's have a look at Panathinaikos and how they line up. It's a changed formation. It's a 2-3-2-1-2 for them. They've got Cannavaro and Odessa at the back. They've got Butt in front of them. In midfield, we've got Jagatas on the left, Salihamidzic on the right, Nedved Cold in the middle, Riquelme up front, and Henri and Trezeguet trying to supply the goals for Panathinaikos tonight. As mentioned, a couple of good games against Ardsley, very exciting, and obviously just about made it through after having just squeezed into the playoffs. So he's been working wonders, Chris Mack as the new Panathinaikos managers, but we'll see how long this lasts. Obviously, big game against Valen coming up now. So yeah, let's dive straight into this one. The two sides are ready. We'll set the commentary speed to fast, and we'll kick off, and we'll see how Valen get on at home to Panathinaikos in the minor semi-final. Quite a couple of minutes here, and then Valen United with the first sort of meaningful attack of the game. Totti with a free kick, deflects off the wall, and not much else off that. A couple of quiet games that Valen have been involved in. Oh, that was that two-footed? It looked like something. And if the Rapulas obviously in goal after Toldo got sent off, be interesting to see how he gets on tonight. As Keane picking up an early yellow, getting in with the tackles early is Roy Keane, asserting his authority in central midfield as usual. A little bit scrappy so far. A couple of chances for either side, but nothing really. Maybe here, Nedved into Riquelme to Cole. Cannavaro somehow involved, but nothing else happened there. I will say it looks as if Panathinaikos had a bit of a good spell there, sort of from 10 to 15, 20 minutes. And now it's back down the other end. Valen created a couple of chances. Totti has a go from the free kick, but nothing coming out of that one. We see Lisa Rasu getting involved as well. He's obviously been a very important player for Valen. Those two DMCs with the arrows out, him and Kafu, very important for Valen United, considering how relatively little they're getting out of the two central midfielders. Obviously contributing, as we saw Nakata there, but they haven't been as impressive as they would have perhaps hoped for. Just over half an hour done. Valen United still trying to push forward, but nothing to write home about so far. Pretty good at retaining possession and getting forward, but yeah, I wouldn't have been nothing to really worry each manager so far. in the first half. Although Panathinaikos maybe with a chance here at the end. It is. It's Chieriang Ri who opens the scoring for Panathinaikos. Bit of a surprise. Has a go from far out apparently, and that's gone in. Yeah, a quiet first half as some of Allen games have been. Not so much Panathinaikos recently, but matching up really well these two tactics apparently. Yeah, 2 shots on target for Valen and 2 for Panathinaikos. Action Valen United uncharacteristically for them having most of the possession, which is maybe not in their favour, and struggling to get through that strong line of 4 there that Panathinaikos have in the midfield. Let's see how the goal came about right at the end. Henry gathered up a loose ball. That was pretty much it. No one really involved from either side. Have a look at the Valen United player stats. Nakata and Totti struggling in that central midfield. Lisa Rasu not getting much out of it. No key passes, just a 1 for Totti. Lots and lots of passes, much higher than we normally see at halftime. But yeah, they're struggling. They are struggling, Valen. Louis Saha with 1 shot, Nakata with 1 shot. Nothing from Shevchenko. They're going to have to do much better in the second half if they're going to make it into the final. Then we have Panathinaikos again, bit of a mixed bag here. Salihamidzic and Nedved not doing particularly well. Neither is Cole and Riquelme, but they have had Thierry Henry obviously with a couple of good efforts. One of them going in. Dida doing okay in goal so far. Cannavaro and Udese keeping Saha and Shevchenko in check here defensively. Nicky Butt doing kind of okay. But yeah, relying on that little bit of a fortune maybe from Thierry Henry picking up a loose ball and putting Panathinaikos ahead. Okay, we'll return to the action in the second half and see if Valen United can find a way back into this. They are by no means outplayed, but it has been very quiet for them in the first half. Ooh, good chance maybe here. Good chance for Panathinaikos. If they could go 2-0 up now, that would really be not only a big upset, but really set them in good stead for the rest of the game. But that wasn't to be. Let's see if Valen now can find a way back into it instead. It's Pavel Nedved with a couple of good moves there, but nothing really happening. I mean, defensive masterclass for Panathinaikos so far, completely keeping Valen away from anything that even resembles a chance. Nedved with a clearance here, just 20 minutes to go. Cafu into the ball, Saha with a good chance, but unfortunately not enough. Nakata tries again, Totti into Shevchenko, and Shevchenko, superb play, but he just cannot finish it. It's very reminiscent of the final they had against Bolton, obviously. Obviously, scoring goals in the very vital games have been a problem for Valen, unfortunately. And it looks as if that's going to continue tonight. Just 10 minutes left to play. Panathinaikos could be well on their way. It's Riquelme who's coming forward here, but not really getting enough on anything. Totti lines it up. Totti sends the free kick in. Bramble heads the ball away. Lasisi again trying to do something. But you see too much of Lasisi. He shouldn't really be that involved if you're trying to chase the game. Fantastic save by Lefteropoulos. Shevchenko, Lisa Rasu to Saha, back to Shevchenko. And Udese, I think, picks up a yellow card. Totti maybe with a free kick. Let's see. He strikes the free kick, deflects off the wall. Totti with the corner. Bramble wins ahead of there, but can't do anything with it. There's plenty of chances. Saha with the header now. Is Dida going to be man of the match for Panathinaikos and keep them in this as Valen continue to pile on the pressure? We're into added time now. Shevchenko to Saha again. Dida with a great save. Apparently he's been a rock for Panathinaikos tonight. Let's see if that lasts in the last minute or two, whatever is left of added time. And it does. Panathinaikos win. They beat Valen United 1-0 on that Thierry Henry goal in the first half. Let's see what the stat says about that. Valen United incredibly wasteful, unfortunately for them. Incredibly wasteful when it mattered. Those 5 shots in the second half, not a single one on target. I think I did see Dida make some saves though, so that's a little bit surprising. But who knows? Who knows? In terms of the action, they kept a lot of possession. The ball was played down in the right-hand side in the Panathinaikos end. But again, reminiscent of last year's final, they just could not put the ball in the back of the net when it mattered, unfortunately for them, and it will be a Valen-free final tonight. Let's have a look at the match report and see what happened right there at the end. Plenty of chances for Valen United to actually finish it. Shevchenko headed the ball down for Saha. Dida collected the ball there. Yeah, it was really, Dieter was solid as a rock in the Panathinaikos defense. You didn't expect that earlier on this season. Yeah, plenty of chances. Totti with free kicks, deflected off the walls. I know that the old Panathinaikos manager doesn't think it's a problem, but it's a huge issue in the game. Very, very frustrating. And one of the reasons why you don't put if you want a player to get to 1,000 goals, you don't put them on set pieces because that's what's happening. Either way, let's have a look at the Valiant stats. I mean, Cafu gets man of the match. That's a little bit of a strange one, perhaps. Roy Keane. I mean, the ball got up there. Luis Saha got it. Totti got it. Shevchenko got the ball. Nakata got the ball. They've had plenty of touches. They've won plenty of headers. Um, it just wasn't to be. I mean, a little bit harsh on Titus Bramble. I think he's done 7.7 average so far this season. Not involved in the goals, just kind of hanging about, only getting a 6. Lisa Rasu getting a 6 as well. A little bit surprising. Um, yeah, it's hard to put a finger on what actually went wrong, other than yeah, it was just a little bit of an issue for for Valen United to actually get a goal, and this is how it's ended up. We'll have a look at the Panathinaikos player stats instead. Yeah, I mean, not a classic performance from either side, to be honest. We've got Pavel Nedved getting a poor 5. I mean, maybe it's payback for the chairman claiming him to be the most important player and the best one, etc., etc., and ultra important for Panathinaikos. But yeah, only a 5 for him tonight. Performances that stand out: Terry Henry got the goal, kind of out of solid in defense. Dida was a rock at the back apparently. I think that's pretty much it to say about that. But yeah, I mean, on the balance, deserved, perhaps just about edged it in terms of having a better conversion of the shots going on target rather than going wide. So yeah, it's definitely not the bookies' favorite that are going through here, but Panathinaikos are through, beating Valen 1-0 when it really mattered. What will happen next is that I will progress the game, obviously, one day, so we can move on with the Churchtown and Bolton match. So bear with us for a short while, and we'll be back. And just like that, we are back and we are ready for the major semi-final second leg. Obviously, the first leg was won by Bolton Phoenix, the reigning champions, and Churchtown have it all to do tonight. So let's have a look at the champions and see how they line up. We've got Rab Douglas in goal, Hencho and Yap Stam. Just in front of him, we've got Dede there, Sinoni, Neville is back on the right hand side. Deisler, who didn't pull up any trees but did a decent job, is moving up to the AMC role in place of Figo, who's been quite poor. Kuhl and Verong, very, very important players and have done really well, are in central midfield. Raul is still there, back with the captain's armband, and we have Montella up front. Top scorer of the league, I believe, on 17 or 18 goals, yeah. On the bench, Casillas, Brown, Kale, Figo, and Torres, who can come in when it matters, or if it matters in terms of injuries, if they have anyone to replace. So a strong Bolton side. They're obviously missing Sambrotta and Dacour, two of their key players this season. They are still out, but they are not the only ones missing key players. Welsh is out, Van Nistelrooy is out, and Mackay is out for Churchtown. They line up in a sort of an arrowy shape formation here with Khan in goal, Maldini and Turam at the back, Sorocinski, Edgar Davids and Belletti in the DMC roles. We've got Robin and Duff on the wings, Barry Ferguson in central midfield, just behind Henrik Larsson, who's back in his favourite position, and Olise Debe up front. Ruud Van Nistelrooy obviously still injured, which is a major blow to Churchtown that he didn't make it back in time. They're going to need goals. They're going to need at least 2. Obviously, away goals being a thing in these rounds. So we'll see what they can come up with against Bolton. let's have a look at how this one pans out. It should be on fast, which it really is. And yeah, let's have a look and see if Bolton can make it through to another final. Kick off. Most of the possession so far, but it's Churchtown with the first kind of activity. But it goes straight back up the end, and here's Bolton Phoenix on the attack. We're wrong with a free kick. Khan lifts it forward. Kuehl with a, did I say a perfectly executed tackle? That's unusual, but anyway, we'll let him have it. Kuehl involved again, picking up the ball, sending away Montella. Oh, dangerous two-footed tackle from Edgar Davids. Very lucky to get away with just a yellow on that one, I think. Let's hope for Churchtown that's not a sign of things to come. It does look as if Bolton have slightly got the better of them so far here in this first half. But there's a yellow card for Jaap Stam. Two key players now on a yellow card for either side. Deisler finding himself in some space. I think that was a bicycle kick, but still 0-0 with half an hour played. A bit of a lull in the action at the moment. Let's see if we get something just before half time. It's Montella coming forward, Neville, Deisler. Nothing happened. 4 minutes of added time. Plenty of opportunity for either side to find a way back in, but that was about it. Yeah, well. A bit of a nervy one, I guess. I mean, Churchtown, they need to come forward, they need to score, but it's not worked out for them, unfortunately, with that particular tactic in the first half. Bolton Phoenix not had too much to say, so yeah, that's unfortunate for them. What we do have is some player stats, some 7s. Montella's done an okay job. He picks up an 8. Everyone else is doing a pretty average job. Not really anything to write home about. Edgar Davids gets a yellow. He's on an 8 though. Best player for Churchtown in that first half. Probably missing Van Nistelrooy up front. Larsson not doing particularly well either, but overall a poor and relatively uninteresting first half. We'll see if Churchtown can find a way back in the second one. But obviously like a little bit more of drama in these games. Oh, and here comes the first bit of drama for the evening. It's Juan Sebastian Verong. Doesn't really change anything for Churchtown. They still need the 2 goals, but in terms of morale, it's maybe not the best. However, it could obviously trigger them into action, seeing the goals come in like that. Doesn't look like it though. Well, let's see. There is Henrik Larsson, and there is Mike Duff. Duff with a drive, but Douglas saves it. I think it was the first chance of the game for Churchtown. It was Mike Duff with a shot. That's obviously it's good for Mike Duff, but overall that's going to be a little bit concerning for the manager that he has got half an hour left. He needs 2 goals, and it's really only been one shot from Mike Duff that Douglas dealt with rather easily. Strong defensive performance, you have to say, from Bolton Phoenix here with those 5 players, the two wide. Oh, but let's not talk too much about the defensive performances from here's Belletti, his first ever goal for Churchtown, massive, and what a time to get it with just over 20 minutes to go. Can Churchtown find a way back into this? They have been very, very high scoring in the past, earlier this season obviously, but less so in the last couple of weeks. But let's see if they can do it. They've got 20 minutes still to find that second goal that would take them into extra time. Let's not rule Bolton out though. They have been very, very solid, and they could obviously get another one as well. There's Robin coming forward. Brad Mackay, the referee, hands out yellow cards as if it was his life depended on it. But 15 minutes to go. And still Churchtown, they are just not dangerous enough really. That's a yellow card for Ferguson, sending Sinoni crashing to the floor there. 10 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go. It's now or never for Churchtown. You guys got to come forward. Otherwise, Bolton are straight into another final, I think. Here's Ian Robin. Here's Davids, here's Oli Sadebe, clean through on goal, 20 yards out with a low drive, and Douglas saves it. Douglas, probably one of the most important signings that Bolton Phoenix made when the other keeper starting to struggle. And there it is, Bolton Phoenix have won the game. And that concludes the semi-finals. Panathinaikos and Bolton Phoenix are the winners. And let's see where that leaves us. Churchtown Massive obviously qualify for the preliminary final against Panathinaikos. I think that's the thing we take from that. Panathinaikos obviously will be more than keen to meet their Bolton rivals in the final, but we'll have to see how that one pans out. So two relatively exciting finals in terms of how tight it was, perhaps lacking a little bit in terms of action, but I hope you enjoyed the semi-finals anyway, and we shall be back shortly with the action from the preliminary final as Churchtown take on Panathinaikos. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon.